The next thing is I want you thinking about brand. When you form a band or you and a solo artist, you're thinking brand, but for you or your band, right? You're thinking about how we look, what do we wear when we go on stage or we shoot music videos, or what our sound is, what our genre is. It's all branding, right? But we rarely think about that for the business when we as artists form a business around us. So if you start a label, what's the brand of the label? Because remember, it's super easy to just not take it serious, not have formality, and the next thing you know, really your label is just you. It's an extension of you. It wears, you know, a Motley Crue T-shirt and jeans with holes in it or whatever. Well, that's not a business, right? That could be you. That may be your art. That may be your iteration of who you are as an artist, but that's by and large not a business. So when you think about forming a label, you need to be thinking about what's the brand. And I don't mean necessarily it's included in this, but I don't necessarily mean what's the name, although that comes into play. I mean, what's the look and feel? Do we have a trademark? Do we have a logo? Do we have a color scheme? I mean, social media experts, social media marketing experts, and digital marketing experts will tell anybody you have to have color themes. Like, you can't be like red over here, green over there, yellow over there, blue over there. Like, keep consistent themes. So, does your label have consistent themes, even in terms of logos, branding, color schemes, how you post and when you post on social media? Because you as an artist is one thing, your label is another thing. Now, your label can promote you, but think about it this way: step out of yourself and think about like Universal or Atlantic Records or whatever. Atlantic Records has a look and feel, and it's not the same. I can't think of an artist sign right now, but it's not the same as an individual artist that's on the label, right? So there's a look and feel and a branding, composition and timing and structure and all that sort of protocol for the label, which is not necessarily the same as the artists that are signed to that label, but they can obviously work together and they should work together. So for you, there's an artist brand, trademark, all that kind of stuff. But there's also your label, brand, trademark, color scheme. Maybe those are really well aligned, and that's something I would encourage you to think about, and maybe even read up on it, or even, maybe even hire a marketing expert, a digital marketing expert, or a social media marketing expert, and say, should I be, sort of using the same color schemes and same font type and imagery and stuff like that on my artist posts and my artist branding and forward facing art and my label stuff? And that's a big question to ask. Within that, and this also ties into sort of the legal and the protective piece of a label, is what are you doing with your copyrights? Obviously, you know that the copyrights are the basis of what's exploitable, right? Your musical compositions are copyrights, your sound recordings are copyrights, your visuals, like your music videos and things like that, are copyrights. To some extent, maybe even some of your social media posts are copyrights or copyrightable. So, what's your whole paradigm with that? Are you even looking at it? And that's where, some of these topics they cross topic basically. So, when you think about branding, hey, we have a strong brand, but part of that brand is our efficiency, like our operational efficiency. And we know where all our songs are registered. And we know that they're all protected. And that ties into your legal and your business decision, your business management, right? So, be thinking about that. The next thing I want to talk about is how you distribute. By and large, most independent artists will say, well, it's DIY, I do it myself. But you're probably using an aggregator: CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, The Orchard, whoever. And some of these, they don't necessarily come and go, but they evolve. Like The Orchard is, I think, substantially evolved over the years, right? But you have an aggregator. That aggregator, in the simplest terms, and watch the videos where I talk about aggregators, how to pick the best one, that sort of thing. But for this purpose, this is a little bit broader about your business as a label. Aggregators have a lot of tools, right? And so it's not just that they put your music into the DSPs and all of a sudden your music is out there on Apple Music and Spotify and Deezer and everywhere else. It's also like, take DistroKid for example. DistroKid has some great tools for marketing templates, for short form videos, for lyric videos, for there's things where they have like a spin the wheel thing and you could get like free promotion stuff from them. So when you pick your aggregator, you're getting your music out there, but part of the business is extracting the maximum value out of that relationship with your aggregator. You're effectively your distributor. So if there are extra tools, if you can figure out how to incorporate videos or lyric videos or even lyrics, the better you set up your accounts. And this is sort of a side note. Again, I go into this in deeper detail when we talk about DSPs and choosing aggregators. But I've found that most indie artists is like they pick an aggregator, they upload their music and like my name, my genre, and that's it. Like there's a lot of missing elements. But you'll learn this over time if you'll take the time to invest in really filling out that profile, giving a bio, putting in images, whatever information, links and all that kind of stuff. You will build a fan base so much deeper and so much faster than if it's just like, here's my song, here's my genre, here's my name, come listen. And you're beating people up on social media to come listen to you. But it's very difficult to build a new audience of new listeners when your profile, for example, is so bare. So as you think about your business and you're thinking about the aggregator that you work with, think about how robust your presence can be because of the tools the aggregators provided for you and the DSPs provided for you. So use those tools. Last couple I want to get into are, because I want, again, it's very important for me to help you start to think differently about your business and not just give you checklists. I want to give you checklists, of course, obviously, and I've been doing that. But I also want to get you to in the mindset of thinking. So think about, as a label, what is your asset? How, when you think about Universal or Atlantic or Capitol or whoever, what's their asset? It's typically sound recordings, right? They sign contracts with artists. They have exclusive artists. So there's a personal service element, touring. But the asset, the physical asset, really is an intellectual property asset, is sound recordings or masters. So your label needs to figure out the best way to exploit that. In today's environment, go back 20 years. We put it on a CD. It's sort of it's easily traceable in some respects because there's a physical product. Now we've kind of transitioned, downloads, and we're streaming right now. But there's also a lot of other opportunities for sound recordings to get exploited, for income to come up. So, where are you with Sound Exchange? Do you even know what Sound Exchange is? If you haven't really dug in, first of all, go watch the video on Sound Exchange where I kind of break down what it is and how to maximize it. But if you're not registered with Sound Exchange, if your assets are not registered with Sound Exchange, there's money being generated and just not paid to you. So that's a possibility that you're already missing income simply because you're not managing your business well, because you don't even know where the money's being generated or coming from or how to collect it. So look into Sound Exchange. I'm going to leave it at that. When you want to dig in deeper, go to the video where I talk about Sound Exchange. YouTube, Content ID. Do you even know if you're allowed to have your assets registered in Content ID, where YouTube can actually have a better ability to track and place income where it should go related to your masters? But I'm going to wind this out with, I talked about Sound Exchange and YouTube specifically, but I want you to be thinking, where is the money being made? What about smart home devices? When you think about it, because I'm shooting this video in my home, a second ago I said the name of one of them and it started talking to me, so I won't say it. But the smart home devices that you could just name. If your music wound up there, first of all, do you know how to get it on there? Do the aggregators put it there? Do the DSPs? And if it is, how's the money going? Like, how do you get paid from that? If you're not looking into that, then you're not managing a business. You're not managing your business. So part of running a label is starting to understand where the assets travel, how money's generated from those assets that your record label controls, and how to maximize extracting the value from that and pulling it back into the label. And if you're not thinking about any of that and you're not wanting to think about any of that, then the answer for you is probably bury your head in the sand, make great art and hope people find it and don't worry about getting paid for it, or find a partner like a label that will do all this stuff for you. And so, an aggregator can only do so much, right? They can trace certain income and they can place certain things. And like some of the aggregators, like I said, have really great tools that will connect your art, your assets to income generating opportunities. Then they'll extract that income and pay back to you. That's great if it's there. But if you're not thinking through the lens of this is my business, and if I don't figure out where the income is and how to get it and put it into my pocket, somebody else is getting paid. And that I can guarantee. Money's being generated. People are talk about, oh, the music industry is in a slump. There's certain elements of the music industry that have grown regardless of what's going on in the economy, what's going on with infringement, what's going on with technology. Elements of the music business have always grown, and the music business in total is growing. A lot of people like to focus on where in terms of like, well, it's streaming, things like that. But I think you need to step back of where the money's in this broad, generic category of streaming and just think there's money all over the place. Do you know where your YouTube money is? Do you know that there's certain royalties that come from physical duplications of physical media like cassette tapes or digital tapes? Do you know there's a royalty associated with that? Probably not, and you probably never see it. But my point is if you're not even looking into this stuff, you're never going to know where the money is. So I'm going to end it with this. You want to start a label, translate that to I'm starting a business, and that business needs legal issues, financial issues, branding issues, just income and expense issues. Where's the money at? How do I grow my business? So take off your hat as an artist, as a creator, and put on your hat as I'm starting something from scratch, a business from scratch. I need to know how to do this. Start asking those questions, and I know you're going to be successful at it, but you have to dig into it and take it serious. So I'm going to leave you with that. Jump into the next video. Part of what the next series is going to be about is a publishing company, the why of should you start a publishing company, and a similar trail of what are the best practices to start one. So a lot of resources here. Just keep digging in and jump to the next one. All right, I'll see you there.